Okay, the Battle of Katzbach, a perilous passage, 26th of August, 1813. I'm just going as a bit of a starter, so you're going to play the game, so just make sure you get it set up right the first time. So make sure you go to the Opera Studies Group website, because when we start talking about the forces in the battlefield, visualizing the battle, and talking about strategic situation, it'll all make sense if you have the right rules. So there's a set of rules there that's been updated. Things to watch out for: this thunderstorm rule here about a bridge in the north, and the victory conditions. Okay. Other things that you get from that site are the setups and the reinforcement schedules. We'll come back to that in a minute, but most importantly, you're going to need this updated weather table, because the weather table on the map's incorrect, and weather seriously affects this battle. So that's a point. If we were to look at the forces, we'll see for the French, Macdonald's the commander and a corps leader, and he's got a couple of divisions with some cavalry and artillery assets, as does the 5th Corps and Lauriston's. And then later in the day comes on a 2nd Cavalry Corps and a rather large 3rd Corps, but fairly late in the first day. Opposing them are the Russians and Prussians. We have Langeron's division, which is comparable to the French, supported by a cavalry corps, and then Yorick's rather large Prussian corps under Blucher, and he's the commander with 3, although Sacken is there as a commander as well, with a small corps and a cavalry. One other thing might be worth looking at is there are some updated errata and some optional rules. I'll quickly show you those. Okay, there's this file here, also on the website, updated in 2018, and it has this change to the French reinforcements and this optional fording a river hexide rule, which I would highly recommend you play. And then there's just some other options there for optional reinforcements, but I don't use the cards, so there's no great deal to me. All right, let's just go and have a look at the map and the initial deployments and the victory hexes, and then quickly show you what happened with my few playthroughs. Right, here we have the map. The Katzbach River comes down through here. It's impassable except at the bridges. This top bridge can get washed out with a thunderstorm. The French start on the west of the river with the 11th Corps here within 4 hexes and some cavalry assets nearby. And 5th Corps starts here or within 4 hexes. Opposing them, the Russians here, both an infantry and cavalry corps, and this town here, Hemmensdorf, and I believe this one, Chalupi, are victory hexes. There is another one quoted in the rules, and I've never actually found it on the map, so I presume it's this one. Likewise, put the units back on. We have Blucher's corps down here. He races up this road. In fact, in the day, there was a metaphor for being speedy about how fast he came up that road. And then in the east, we have Russian infantry and cavalry corps destined to go north and block those bridges. And there's lead elements of Yorick's corps here, cavalry in place already guarding those bridges. Other victory places are Wieberg here, and this town here, and this one here. So you can see the French essentially have to cross the river and take these areas here and this area here. So it's almost like core versus core, north and south. So let me quickly show you what happened in my games might help me visualize the battle, and I'm sure you'll probably do better than I did. Right, here we are at the end of my third playthrough. Every single playthrough I had terrible weather. So the last one I had thunderstorms, then rain, and then thunderstorms again. So much so that, as you probably know, if you're playing these rules or the NLC rules or the Grognard rules, artillery's badly affected by rain, so is cavalry charges and even musket fire. So essentially this erupted down here, this town called Hendersdorf, into close combat melees, back and forth, and attempted bridge crossings in a similar manner up here near Wienberg. So my French never got across in all three playthroughs, so that's why I'm saying use the river fording rule and hopefully play for fine weather. Alternatively, on the first day, perhaps don't get too engaged and wait for the second day and perhaps weather, or vice versa. In other words, whenever the weather's good, go for it. Otherwise, I don't think there's any chance of forcing a way through the coalition. I think that's enough to get you started, so I'm going to go into the next two battles of this quad set and see how it goes.